What's up, Vincent Valentine EX Turk with another movie review. Well, this is actually in the Final Fantasy universe, Final Fantasy 15 to be specific, and I'm going to review Kingsglave. Which, let me get the DVD cover right in front. Hold up, I can't review this movie without actually putting the thing out, since I didn't get to go to theater. This is actually a belated review. I wanted to go see it in the Alamo, but they were charging $30 for tickets, and I was like, that's too expensive. So even though it's the bar and movie theater, it still is too expensive in my opinion. So we're gonna be reviewing Kingsglave, and now since this is a shorter video, since I don't feel like going into detail, you're just gonna have to pick this up. This was $14 at Walmart. I'm gonna go back and get the Blu-ray version, but if you can get the Blu-ray version or DVD version, I don't care. Get this. It's pretty awesome. If you're into Game of Thrones as well, all the actors from Game of Thrones voice the characters in this movie, so it's actually really worth it if you're a Game of Thrones fan or a Final Fantasy fan, or just want to see a movie that's actually cool. Yeah, it's CGI animated just like Advent Children, but in a way where the characters look real. Like, these look like real life people. But anyways, let's get to the review. Okay, one thing I do like, and I gotta say this, was that actually had a king, that you got to see the Kingsglave order in full. You know, you got to see the Kingsglave order at work here. So that was pretty cool. And I'll say this movie did a lot more justice than the game Final Fantasy 15. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true. Like, they actually did Idolus right. Emperor Idolus was actually the main villain, and he actually he was one of the main villains. There's actually another main villain, which I will talk about a little bit at the end of the video, close to the end of the video, but they did Idolus right. They did Idolus right, man. They did. It's like, you know, he was the villain like he was supposed to be, like it was in Versus 13. He was exactly like he was in Versus 13. The evil emperor. I mean, Arden was in there too. But they didn't push no Arden. They went with Idolus on this one. So that was pretty good. That was good. Now, the characters, I gotta say, it was pretty decent. It was exactly from the game. And it explains how come Ravis has a metal arm, because Ravis, I'll be honest, in this movie, and I know I'm going to get the Ravis fanboys jumping down my throat like, oh, how dare you say something about Ravis? Ravis is the best character ever. Now, before you get mad and take your pitchforks and stuff like, and nooses and try to hang me over a burning cross, I'm going to just say, Ravis was a dumbass in this movie, because, first of all, I get he thought he was, you know, worthy, but the ring is exclusively to the Lucius family. Ravis and one of the other Kingsglave soldiers that betrayed the Kingsglave and joined the Niflheim Empire try to put it on. And look what and guess what happened? They got burned up. But Ravis lost his arm because it was on fire because he thought he was worthy. I'm sorry, in this movie, Ravis was a dumbass. It's like, what made you think you could wear that? It's from the previous Lucius Kings. You know, I mean, I can see why Arden's able to wear that, because he is a Lucius King if you really think about it. But yes, Ravis is a Nox Fleury. What made him think he can put that ring on is beyond me, but no. In all seriousness, yeah, that was kind of dumb. But you know what makes sense, because that's how you know Ravis lost his arm. This movie put a lot of backstory and answered a lot of questions that the game couldn't do. I'm sorry, because the game was so short, it answered a lot of questions, because it put a lot of backstory that made a lot more sense. Now, I understand they didn't want to put no more flashbacks in the Final Fantasy 15 game, because then there would be no point to buying Kingsglave, which I gotta say that it's very genius of them for not doing some of that. But it explains more backstory of Final Fantasy 15. I think if you watch this movie first, then play Final Fantasy 15, everything will start to make more sense to you. And, you know, you'll start to enjoy Final Fantasy 15 a lot more than you normally do. Of course, I played Final Fantasy 15 first because, again, I couldn't afford the $30 tickets to go see a movie, and I really don't pay $30 to go see a movie. I usually pay 14, and 14 is the most I pay to see a movie in XD Cinemark Merriam, where they got the tastiest concession food and XD everything, so with 3D and stuff like that. And usually that's for my Marvel and DC movies or my Star Wars movies, that comes out. I do that for those kind of stuff. But I'm not gonna pay $30 just to have a bar and watch Kingsglave. But I'm glad I actually went and bought this. So I was gonna get me some car seat covers. Car seat floor mats, and I did. But I decided I didn't like it, so I ordered another set. So I'm just giving my other set to my grave. But it was $11, so I just thought I should pick up Kingsglave while I'm there, so I can do my review. And I gotta say this, I appreciate Final Fantasy 15 a lot more, because this movie right here puts in more backstory and makes me appreciate it. They did the justice though, because it was just like I said, Final Fantasy 15 is versus 13. They just took out the 13 stuff, but I think what they did with the versus 13 stuff, I think they put most of it in this movie. So now you got this movie and Final Fantasy 15, and if you have the Brotherhood anime somehow, then you're set for life. But nonetheless, I give this movie a 10 out of 10. This is now for action sequences, it's just like a Marvel movie. If you like Marvel movies, if you like Avengers and stuff like that, you'll like this movie. Or Batman vs Superman, you'll like this kind of movie. This is a movie. This is a must-have movie. Plus, it has Game of Thrones actors as voice actors. Now, I'm a little bit running over time right now, so I gotta say, may the crystal be with you. You got to pick this up. I don't care what price you pay for it. You got to. It's a must. It's a 10 out of 10, and a must-have, even if you're not interested in Final Fantasy. And may the crystal be with you again.